Hello there, Dave Simpson here from me band Red Giant, and I'm here today to teach you our first single off our debut album, self-titled debut album. Song's called Monsters, and yeah, I'm here to show you how to play it today. So, first things first, let's talk about the song. So the song is in E-flat tuning. So it's down-tuned to semitone from standard. So just to give you an idea, these are your reference notes. So this is your E tuned down to E flat. A string tuned down to G sharp, A flat. D string down tuned to, I just want to say D flat. Why not? G string. B. And then your high E. And technically, we're in the key of A minor, but it's A flat, well, G sharp minor. But I'm pretty much sure I will keep referring to these chords as A minor, F, C, G throughout the entire video. I don't think I'll be going like, yeah, this is G sharp minor, because again, it's kind of weird to refer to that when it's actually in like an A minor position, you know, because technically, you know, if you're in standard tune, G sharp minor's there. That's technically not A minor. Hope that makes some kind of sense. So anyway, but yeah, that's so we're down tuned to E flat. The chords are, see, I'm already getting caught up. But yeah, the chords technically A minor, F major, C major, and G major. And there's a couple of variations on that later in the song. But yeah, he's good at theories, our Dave. Anyway, let's get to it, shall we? Let's talk about tone, actually. Before we get into it, actually, let's talk about the sound. So, for this song, I used my Marshall Governor 2 plus distortion pedal for 99% of this song. The only time another pedal was added was for the solo, and for the solo, what I did is I kicked on the Ibanez WH10 wah on the bass mode, so to give you an idea of that sound. So actually, I'll tell you what, this is just the distortion. You won't be able to hear it great, because obviously we're on the room mics now down and coming out of that cab, but you're gonna get an idea. It's just a big, heavy, big rock sound. Anyway, the wah wah, like I say, the wah's for the solo. I wanted something different for the solo, like tonally. So I wanted the wah sound. You can hear it. And again, that first bend, it's just kind of heel back, pushing it all over. So that's the bass wah function of the Ibanez WH10, which I again just use for the solo. I'm not sure if I don't remember if I put the DS2 on as well. I'm pretty sure I didn't, but I don't remember because with the DS2 it's on like this. Whereas to me the album sounds a bit more like. Sounds a bit more just like, you know, the Marshall Governor tone. Anyway, but like I say, the tone, it's very heavily distorted. It's not like slight distortion. It's a lot of distortion. A lot of distortion there. You know, it really. There's a lot of distortion there. You know what I mean? It's not like, you know, mild distortion. This is full on, and the gain is turned all the way up on the pedal as well. But that's the tone we're going for. Yeah. So other than that, let's move the camera in, and I'll start teaching you how to play Monsters. Okay, let's go. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to play like this A minor chord up here, where it's a G sharp minor, but you know, eases of use. Let's go with the A minor, just because my brain can't handle it any other way. So we're going to go for this shape here. So we're going to be not playing the E strings at all. So the high E and the low E are muted completely. So no and no. And we're just going to be playing the A, D, G and B strings. And this is the shape we want. So we want our first finger on the first fret on the B string. Middle finger wants to be on the second fret on the D. And ring finger wants to be on the second fret on the G. Like I say, it's technically a G sharp minor, but I say just for ease and because I'm thick, we're going to call it an A minor, because technically that's what it is. Anyway, well, the shape is. Anyway, but you know what I mean. Anyway, shut up, Dave. Get on with teaching. So, the first thing we're going to do, we're actually going to play the A and the D strings together. So that's kind of like the first thing we do, is just play those A and D together. It's like a power chord. And then what we do is we pick the D, G, B. And when we get to the B string, we do a pull-off on our first fret on the B string. And then we pick back up. So all that is just like, you know, as soon as you hit that B string, and then we pick up G and D. I think we pick that, so. Yeah. So really slow, it's that. So that's the first chord, and then what we do is we slide down here to technically, well, again, I'm going to call it an F. It's not an F. It's technically an E, but that's going to get confusing, isn't it, if I keep doing that? So I'm going to shut up. I'm just going to go with it. So we're down here on the 8th fret power chord, basically. So first finger wants to be on the 8th fret on the A, and then whatever finger you want. Ring finger, little finger, to be on the 10th fret on the D. And we just hit that twice. So that's that. So the whole thing so far. Okay. And then the next thing we do, we go to this like C. It's like a Jimi Hendrixy kind of thing I've incorporated in it. It's something I learned off from Jimmy's playing that I absolutely love and adore, and it's really melodic. It adds a really cool kind of thing to chords, and we do this. So I use my thumb here. Now, if you can't use your thumb to fret the C note on low E, you're going to have to do it like this, which is, for me, really fiddly. I'm sure for some people it won't be. So basically what that is first finger is on the 7th fret on the G, your middle finger is on the low E string on the 8th, your ring finger is on the 8th fret on the B string, and your little finger is used to hammer onto the 9th fret on the G. And you're not playing your A or D string here. They're both muted. And how I'm doing that with this shape is this finger is muting the A string, and that finger is muting the D string, so they're not being played. So I can get that kind of rake, which I got on the album, that kind of thing, because I'm basically hitting all the strings apart from the high E there, but these two, because they're dead, they're not ringing out. So and if you wanted to do it with your thumb, I should have explained that one, shouldn't I? Your thumb just wants to be on the 8th fret on the low E. Again, that's killing the A string. So it's just fretting that note and killing the A. And then your first finger is doing exactly what it did in the other shape, killing the D string. And you're just hammering on, instead of with your little finger, with your ring finger. Like I say, in relation to that. And so that's both versions. I say I use my thumb over the top. Like I say, I know some people can't do that, so that's why I've said to this shape as well. If you want to do it, and from there we just shoot back up here to this G major shape, Jimi Hendrix kind of like G major shape, and we have to make sure we hit this note here on the B string because it's part of the melody. So basically all that is there again is just like a G major chord. But we're not playing the A or the high E, and I'm doing it in the way of my thumb is playing the 3rd fret on the low E, A string is muted, ring finger is on the 5th fret on the D, middle finger is on the 4th fret on the G, and first finger is on the 3rd fret on the B. And again, high E is not used. So that's that. So all together at this point in time, it's this. Stop. And on the last time when the band comes in, there's this little kind of, again, Jimi Hendrix-y kind of like figure where I go... So basically all I'm doing there is my little finger comes into play on the B string on the 5th fret, and it's you play the 5th fret B string, pull off to the 3rd fret B string, and then you go up to the 5th fret G string, and then you pull off to the 4th fret G string. Okay, so the whole intro really slow is this. So. Then the band comes in and it gets loud and leery. It's great. Okay, so that's the intro. I'll do it one more time actually. I'll try and do it a bit slower than that because I think that was a bit too fast. So that's the intro, and then we're into the what I would call the main riff of the song. So it's basically exactly the same as what we've just played, apart from the F. So it starts again like that. And then when we slide down to the F here now, we're not going to play a power chord. We're playing an octave chord. So we do that. So we play the 8th fret on the A string twice. Then we jump up to its octave on the 10th fret G. So the intro is exactly the A is exactly the same. But when we come down to the F, we slide into it. So, and then. That's it. That's the intro. That's the intro and basically the main riff, which we come back to as well after the first verse. So that's kind of like the main theme, if you will, of the song. So out of that, once we get into a verse, all we're doing is just playing basically just like a pretty simple rhythm, just playing the chords, and we're playing A minor, F major, which again, if you wanted to play it like a bit more traditionally, it'd be like that, and then we're playing to C major, and then G major. And again, you can do it a couple of different ways. You can do it like in a bit more traditional way, where you kind of like, you know, you get your A minor, F major, C major, and G major. Or how I do it, again, is I use my thumb all the time. My thumb's never not over the top. So A minor, F major, and then C major, and G major. And it really is important to have the full chord. It's not power chords. It's not that. It's, you know, you want all. I wanted the full kind of like melodic chord. I didn't want it just to be kind of like what's the word I'm looking for there? Just like a simple kind of like power chord or anything like that. It wasn't melodic enough for me. Anyway, and the rhythm is this. So, and that's all it is. And you really got to make sure you emphasize that dun dun da. That's really important. That emphasis on that dun dun dun, that kind of downbeat is really really important. So the whole thing so far really slow as this. Well, really slow. He's going to try. Verse. That's basically it. That's the verse, and the first verse is longer than the second one. The second verse is like a half verse, if you will, before it gets into like the middle section, the kind of middle 8-bit. So yeah, but there's like there's 4 times through this. So that's 1, and there's basically 4 of them in the first verse, and the second verse there's only 2 of them. So that's it so far. So now we'll get to kind of it, like this kind of like breakdown bit in the middle, and what we're going to do there is basically just kind of like what's the words? Sorry, I'm trying to think of the words to my own song. That's clever, isn't it? Yeah, but you don't understand when I say you don't understand. We switch to an F major chord, which again playing all the strings, G major. And again, remember, we're down tuned half step, so I'm just doing it for ease. And then we do this. So, F major, G major. And then what we'll do here is I fret the 5th fret on the low E, and that's now killing the A string as well. And I use this finger to kill the D string. And it's this. And what we're doing now is we're going back and forth on the G string between the 5th and the 4th fret. But while keeping the root note down. And I actually find it's a lot neater for me to use my middle finger here instead of using my thumb for this. I just find I can get the kind of the muted strings a little bit cleaner, so I can strum it like I like to do. I mean, this is kind of not really how I play it. So the whole thing is. that's the middle section. That's the whole middle section, really. And then we come to this kind of like it's like riff 2, if you will. I don't really know how you'd call it, but it's the next section of the song before the guitar solo. Well, before the build up and then the guitar solo. So again, I'll do the whole thing really, really quickly up to this point. So from the intro, I'll kind of basically do one of each, if you will. So there'll be one of the intro, one of the main riff, one of the verse, and one of the middle section you just seen. Missed that one, sorry. So yeah, there you go. That's that. So the next riff we're going to go to is, like I say, this kind of like I don't know, riff 3, 4, I don't know. So what we're going to do is we're going to go. It's basically just an octave. So we're going to be on the 5th fret low E, and then we're going to go to the 7th fret D. And then we play our low E open twice, and then it's the 5th fret on the D to the 7th fret on the D. So that was terrible. I don't know why I hit the low E at the end there. Ignore that. That didn't happen. And then back to the A, E, and then we have this lick. So what we do there is we are on the 4th fret on the G, and we hammer onto the 5th fret G, and then pull off back to the 4th fret G, and then we come up here to the 7th fret on the D, and we finish up on the 5th fret on the D. And that's kind of that kind of like is kind of like one cycle, if you will. Well, no, kind of one cycle of this riff. It's kind of halfway, actually. I do apologise. This is what no sleep will do to you. Anyway, so this riff is. Back to that. And then we go to G, power chord. It is power chords this time. We're no longer just playing the major chords here. It's just literally. And that's one cycle of the riff. So let me do that really, really slow. I'm trying to do it Django Reinhardt style, so like my fingers aren't kind of like hiding what's going on. So this next riff, it goes. Can't do that. That's just too much of a stretch, really. But yeah, let me do that one more time. And again, I fret the A note with my thumb, so I do like this. And then we repeat it. Second time, we don't do this though. We play a harmony, which is. So we're hammering on we go to the B string, and we're hammering on from the 3rd fret to the 5th fret, and then pull off back to the 3rd fret on the B. Then we go up to the 5th fret G, and then 4th fret G. And that's the harmony to this. So the first time. Time. Then then we come to the big, heavy breakdown, build-up bit again. And all we're doing there is just an E5 chord. Just... And then after that, what we do is we come down here to the 7th fret and we do the Jaws theme. So basically all we're doing now is just 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8, 7, 8. I'm going to get Steven Spielberg coming after me for royalties for this bit. Anyway, but yeah, it does that. And then what we do is, to finish it off, we shoot all the way down here. The reason I did it all the way down here is because of the tonality of it. So if I was to do it, it's too bright, it's not fat enough. So I did it down here because the tonality is way bigger. This is okay, but this is way better. So the whole build-up is... That's it. So let me play the whole thing up to here, because the guitar solo, all we're doing, I will show you the guitar solo, don't worry. This was actually a written guitar solo as well. I did that for a few songs on the new album. Some of the songs, like, there is improvised guitar solos, but some of them just, they didn't want that. The song did not want that, so I wrote solos, and this is one of the songs that's got a written solo to. There are some I just improvised and winged on the spot, but Monsters and a few others, they had written solos. And I really like this solo. It's very John Frusciante, and that makes me very happy, as you can imagine. So, but the guitar solo just goes over the A, F, C, and G progression. So let me play the whole thing for you. One of each kind of section, so to say. And then we'll get to the guitar solo. Okay, so, intro. Riff. Verse. Middle section. Then next riff. And build up. And then to the guitar solo. So let's talk guitar solo. So this is really, again, heavily John Frusciante inspired guitar solo, this one. So the first thing we're going to do is a unison bend. So we're going to put our first finger on the B string on the 5th fret, and then we're going to brace our ring finger with our middle finger on the G string on the 7th fret. So this finger is on technically the 6th, and this finger's on the 7th fret on the G. And we're just going to bend up that G string only. And what I did on the album is I made it so it wasn't quite in tune, and it gives it this warble. Let me just show you what I mean. Like if I put distortion on, if it's not quite in tune, it wobbles. Whereas if you get it in tune, that wobble doesn't happen. Whereas if you just flatten it, you can hear it start to wobble. And the idea was it makes it stick out more, especially with the wah-wah engaged. Yeah, you can really hear it start to wobble. So I didn't want it perfectly in tune, and that's something I did with another song as well called The Dark of Me on this album, where I did a bend that wasn't quite in tune. And the idea is it makes it stick out more, and it just gives it a bit of character. So that's the first thing we're going to do. So we're just going to stop slightly short of it being perfectly in tune. I'm just going to turn my distortion pedal back off, actually. And then what we do for the next part is we get rid of this finger, and basically, and then we release that bend. So get rid of that finger, release the 7th fret G to the 7th fret note. Then we go to the 5th fret G, 4th fret G, 5th fret G. So I actually rebend that note. I didn't realise that. Hope if there's something I've kind of like messed up on and I'm explained very well, hopefully you can kind of see what I'm doing so you can kind of correct it. Because I'm a bit... Well, I get really flustered doing teaching videos, so I do apologise if I'm a bit kind of like... Anyway, so let's do it again. So bend, get rid of the first finger. Then what we do is we come down to the B string. And it's a semitone bend, so it's technically this. So it's B string on the 5th fret. And it's like, just slightly a little bit of vibrato on it. So the whole thing is... So that's it so far. And then what we do is we just shoot all the way up to the 17th and 19th fret. And we do basically the exact same unison bend, but basically next octave up. So, and another thing I did here is I got the high E string open. So we're bending up, first finger is on the 17th fret on the B. This is where maple necks are hard to film because you get the glare from the diffuser light. So 17th fret B, and we're going to bend up the 19th fret on the G. And I got the high E as well, so I kind of rake down. So that's in there as well. It just makes it more distressed when you hear it. To be honest with the wah pedal on, you can't actually hear the high E, but it not being there, it doesn't make it as distressed. And I really wanted it to sound kind of like, angry and like say, just like frantic and crazy. So I did that. So that's where we go from there. So the whole thing so far. And then we go down to the, what's that? 70, 80, 90, 20th fret on the B string. Oh, so we go to the 20th fret high E, B, sorry. We bend up and then we release it, so like that. Hang on. Yeah, and as we release it, we come back to the 17th fret on the B. Like that. So it starts to fall, but we never actually let it get down to its start note because we jump over here to the 17th fret on the B. So and then we do this lick, which is bending up the B string on the 17th fret. Like a semitone. And we finish up on the 17th fret on a G. So that whole section is so far. And then we come up to the 19th fret on the D, and we bend it. I bend it down here. So you could bend it up, but I bend it down. It sounds different. So your 19th fret on the D, down the tone, and then to finish, we just release the bend, and it ends up on the root note of the song. How it ends on the A, finishes on the A. Technically G sharp, but So the whole solo, again, it's very simple. There's nothing crazy going on in this solo, and there's a lot of space in it, and that was the idea. Again, I wanted it to, the solo needed to breathe, especially with the bass wah wah, as you heard in the intro, which I filmed the other day actually, but I didn't film today. And you can it breathes. You know, it really wants to breathe. There's a lot of space in there. I didn't want it to be kind of just full of notes. It needed to breathe. So the whole solo really slow. That's it. I'll do it one more time. I'll try and do it even slower. And that's Monsters. So what I'll do now quickly is I'll just play through the whole thing, one section of each, and including the solo, so you can kind of like hear it in kind of like a context, if you will. So intro. Riff. Verse. Middle. Next riff. Build up. Solo. And that is Monsters by Red Giant. First single off our upcoming debut album. Self-titled debut album. I keep meaning to say that. So, that's it. Like I say, and with the bass wah, let me just see if I can do that. Like I say, with that slightly out of tune bending, bring the camera up a bit. It really adds to it when you have distortion. So, with the bass wah. It just sounds really like I love that sound. It goes incredibly. It goes weird. It just sounds really distressed. Same down there with that high E. Without that high E, it just does this. With the high E, it's really in your face. Where is it? Come on. There it is. It starts doing weird things, the Ibanez Wild does, when it's got distortion on the bass function. I absolutely love it. You can do it without the bass function. It still sounds really cool without the bass function. You can even do it without a wah.
carried away now. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, I don't really know if there's anything else. I don't think there's anything I've missed. I might just show you again, now I'm stood up, with the whole thing just with the distortion pedal on, just so you hear it with that as well. So, again, intro, main riff once, verse once, middle section once, the riff once, build up, and then to the solo, and I'll stick on the wah-wah. Put it back to bass mode. So... That's something I actually failed to mention, people with Dupe. I've just called you people with Dupe. It's fine. Is the verse is actually palm muted apart from that thing. So palm mute twice, and then open. Back to palm muting. It's one thing I'm actually glad I've stood up and started playing distortion, because I'd completely forgotten all about that. So the verse is palm muted with that kind of like, you know, that emphasis on that third kind of hit. Bum bum ba, bum bum ba. You know, Foxy Lady rhythm. Next section. All downstrokes. And then next riff. Build up. Again, this is palm muted as well. I'm sure some of you knew that though. Solo. Done.
Okay, so there you go. That's Monsters. That's how to play Monsters. Hope that made sense. I'm always terrified. I'm more terrified about teaching this song than I am teaching other people's songs, which is weird because I know this one inside and out, but as soon as the camera goes on, I don't know anything. Anyway, hope that's been somewhat informative. Hope it kind of like shows you, like, you know, of how to play this song. Really, really proud of this song. Really, really like it. Everything is just spot on. I love it. I really do love this. This is one of my favourites, and I'm going to really look forward to playing this one live as well. Anyway, yeah, let me know if you have any questions. Leave them in the comment section below, and I'll answer you. Other than that, I don't think there's anything else to say. Other than thank you very much indeed. And there is links in the description box below if you haven't heard Monsters. Why? Links in the description box below where you can stream it and all that kind of thing. There's also album pre-order available as well in the description box below if you would like to pre-order our album that is out on the 18th of October. Other than that, thank you very much indeed for watching. And yeah, I'll see you again very soon for another video, I'm sure. I'm going to do another video next Monday talking about the origins of Monsters as well. It's kind of a bit of a kind of like a deep dive into where the song came from and, you know, when I wrote it, and also talk about the demo and how the song evolved to what you hear on the album, and hopefully talk a bit about the recording of it and stuff like that. So that'll be another video next week. And this will probably be the same thing as well for the next single and the third single as well. There'll be videos of how to play the song and kind of like deep dives on, and me just waffling on about what it's about, why I wrote it, and all sorts of other bits and pieces like that. So, thank you very much, Steve, for watching. Please like and subscribe if you haven't. Please do. It really helps us out. Like I say, all like album pre-order link and where you can stream the song Monsters, description box below. Other than that, thank you very much indeed. I'll see you again very soon for another one. Have a great morning, afternoon, good evening. I just revert all the time, don't I? Anyway, thanks so much. I'll see you again, and have fun. See you later.